Hi, this is Jennifer Mayhofer, and tonight I wanted to talk to you about the fact that we don't have to allow our past to define our future, to define who we become. I'm Jennifer Mayhofer of Spirit Catcher Life Mastery, and it's my honor and privilege to be with you tonight. I'm here in quiet contemplation, sitting at the end of the day, sitting on my couch, thinking about my experiences today. And I had been asked to participate and to share what I could share at a conference for Latina women of domestic violence. And I was honored to be able to, in some way, to offer my support in whatever way that I possibly can. So I'm very grateful to have been given the opportunity to talk with some women and to share an opportunity for them to have a greater sense of clarity of their own future and help them to create their own lives and to offer them the opportunity to get even clearer for themselves so that they can be empowered. And it brings me to the awareness of the fact that each and every one of us has this story. We all have a past, we all have a story. But we don't have to allow our story from the past to define who we are and who we become. That more often than not, our greatest dreams and our greatest goals are born out of the diversity and the challenges that we've experienced in the past. And depending upon how you use that material to move forward in your thinking and in the way that you engage in the world, we can either stay stagnant in the stories of our past and go for 40 years and still be living from the pain of something that happened in ancient history. Or we can recognize that we're here to live this one amazing experience of life and to absolutely give it our all and make the very best, no matter where we are, no matter what our education is up until this point, no matter how old we are, no matter what our history. And some of us have had pain, we've had struggle, we've lost people, we've been hurt, we've been betrayed. And although my compassion and love goes out to those people, at the same time, as a transformational coach and as somebody who's been involved in spiritual discipline and healing for close to 30 years now, our story is not our life. Our story is there for us to learn from and for us to grow from. And it's only when we get hung up in those stories that we end up reworking the energy of that circumstance over and over and over again. I myself, I have my story. We all have our story. My mom passed away when I was 9. I was sent to live with an aunt who, within a year, fell down a flight of stairs and had amnesia. I went to live home with a family that I didn't know, and life was challenging for a long time. I love all of these people now, but at the time it was a struggle. In the more recent years, I was in a very challenging marriage, and I had what most people had thought was an idealistic life. I had, traveled the world. I followed whatever pursuit had meaningfulness to me, but my marriage was deeply unhealthy. And I didn't see all of the writing on the wall, and maybe I didn't engage as best as I could have either. Quite honestly, there's no blame, but the truth is it wasn't healthy, and it was time to make a change. And so here I am, and I had to give up, a great deal of what I had to embrace the truth of who I was. And the truth of who I was is to know that there was this awareness in my being that has been coursing through my veins since I was 9, quite frankly, since I had an experience of a greater level of awareness out in the woods by myself one day, where I realized that I was gifted with the knowledge that we are not alone, that we are constantly in contact with something greater than ourselves, and that when we follow the truth that's in our heart, that we are actually following the journey that we are intended to be upon. And it gets a little murky sometimes, and we have to sift and navigate through what it is that we would love and what it is that we don't love. And as I look back, I realize that I've, had a lot of learning to do, and I also contributed to a great deal of the challenges that I've experienced, as we all do, because everything that we're thinking about, we're creating. So it's so important for us to decide to stay positive, to stay in a positive mental attitude, to stay in positivity, to create in our mind, use our imagination, this amazing tool that we have. Our imagination is the center for which the universe responds through. And when you focus on a vision, on what it is that you want, you directly engage universal law, and it co-creates with you. Whether you like it or not, it's creating with you. So think you can or think you can't. And that's what your truth will be. As I look back on my life, I see so many areas, and they reveal themselves. The deeper I allow myself to ponder what my past has been, the more clearly I see, wow, you know what? I knew these things before they even occurred. And, and there's been times when I've been really clear that, I've put something out in my mind and it's showed up in my world without a great deal of energy or thought. And then there's also been a lot of challenges that I have also co-created. And I no longer choose to engage on that capacity anymore. I'm choosing to stay as positive as I possibly can, and to create and to share with as many people as I can the truth that I know to be true. And so I just want to encourage all of you who, might find yourself in some challenges, that it's up to you. As a transformational coach, it's really important that we help people recognize, to be compassionate about their story, about where they've been. We're all here trying to get home, basically. And at the end of the day, we're walking each other home. So we can choose. We can choose. How do we want to engage with life? Are we going to let ourselves be defined by our past and stay stuck and feel bad about who we are? No, there's no shame. Life is not about shame. It's about growing. It's about opening our mind, our spirit, and surrendering to the truth of who we are. That no matter where we are in this world, no matter where we are in this life, we have the potential and the opportunity at each and every moment to change the outcome of our future. I choose to find myself again. I'm right there with you, T. I love you. I'll be your partner in believing. So what are you thinking? What are you choosing to believe about who you are? Are you going to let those limiting thoughts hold you down and prevent you from the truth and the fullness of who you truly were meant to be, what you came to this planet to experience? It's time to leave that all behind and to walk forward with strength and courage, to walk into your fear, to be the greatest version of yourself. I love you too. I love you too. And I believe in you. So, today was an amazing opportunity, a gift, because the truth is I so deeply believe that we are far greater and contain more potential than our circumstances, situation, or conditions. And for all of those people who are struggling with loss and with fear and with, lack of confidence, I just want to hold you up and help you to remember the truth of who you are. to know that you are this amazing being of light that's here to share your light with the world. And when we tap into this amazing opportunity to remember the truth of who we are, oh, it's amazing. These universal principles, they work when you apply them. They work when you apply them. So many people are walking around without knowing. And it's not their fault. We haven't been taught. We haven't been taught. But we can wake up. We can choose to engage. We can choose to become conscious. But we have to make the choice. We can no longer choose to be in a state of ignorance. We can't afford that. We can't afford that for our own lives. We can't afford that for the planet. It's our responsibility as human beings to wake up to the truth of who we are, to remember our greatness, to remember that we are here intended to live a life of joy, a life of love. And do not allow your fear, do not allow your sense of lack of worth to keep you down any longer. Because that is a lie. That is the dark side. And you are pure light. So I'm sending out all of my love to all of you to remember the truth of who you are. And to know that anything that you choose, you know, my dad used to tell me a long, long time ago, you can do anything that you put your mind to. And I always held that in the core of my soul. It wasn't until in the last number of years that I've come to understand that that's just not some thing that your dad tells you. And of course it's hard work, and that when you put your mind to it, but there's so much more. Your mind is this incredible tool. Your ability to create a vision in your mind of your future is one of the most powerful tools that you can possess. And when you use this tool and you use your ability to focus on what it is that you want and see yourself becoming that, and engage with life as if it's already there, and do it with full appreciation and gratitude and without fear and without worry, you put yourself immediately into alignment with a vibrational match to create that reality for you. Because your dreams do not come to you. You have to embody them. You have to step into them as if they're already here. Then you become the true vibrational match. Albert Einstein said, you know, in order to create change, we must match the frequency of that which is we intend to create. This is not just, you know, spiritual mumbo jumbo. This is spiritual law for sure. And it's physics. Quantum physics is proving this. That the minute that we put our focus and attention on something, we change the outcome of it. So, what are you putting your attention on? What are you believing? Because whatever it is that you're believing, whatever it is that you're focusing on, whatever the lie is that you're telling yourself, the limited thought, that's what you're creating in your life again and again and again. And it's time to stop. It's time to believe in the truth of who you are, to be the love that you're intended to be, to share your gifts with the world. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what your past is. You have been put on this planet to allow yourself to unfold into this magnificent being, to go from, you know, the pulpus to the caterpillar to the butterfly. You see these butterflies? You may have seen butterflies in my house on many occasions, and the truth is, it's a symbol of transformation. We are like butterflies, but we have to go through this period of recognition and awareness and waking up. It's time to wake up to the truth of who you are, to the truth of who you've always been, but you've just been in darkness. So, again, my love and compassion goes out to everyone, because each and every one of us is this brilliant light that's been put on this planet for this amazing expression of light. And you get to decide who you become. As do we all. Choose love. Choose the love that you are, that you're worthy of the very best of the best. Because you are. That your light shines upon others in ways that you can't even understand or define. And we may never know how we affect all the people in our path. And if we're open and honest, we can see how we have engaged in life and how we have allowed ourselves to be right where we are. And sometimes it's hard, it's painful to see the truth of who we are. It's painful to own our own shit. Yes, I'm saying it. To look in the mirror and to see the truth of who we are, what we have allowed, what we have created, it's painful. But it's necessary. It's the only way forth. The truth shall set you free. You are not condemned. Nobody is judging you except yourself. And if they are, then they're not intended to be someone that have to engage with. We have what we call sacred friends. The Dalai Lama talks about our sacred friends, that these are the people who come into our lives that are not the easiest, but they offer us the opportunity to grow. All right? So we all have sacred friends. We all have sacred relationships, whether they're friends or family members or husbands or whatever the case might be. You get to choose how you engage. You get to choose who you become. It's not for anybody else. No one is going to step into the threshold of your mind and make those decisions for you. And we cannot control the external way that people choose to involve themselves with us. We can change how we think about the circumstances, and more often than not, when we're coming from a positive place, we're energetically changing their vibration, and so we actually do have some measure of influence. But at the end of the day, someone who is just not at your vibrational frequency is going to challenge you, and if you're not up to par, then the truth is that you're matching their frequency. You're matching them on an energetic level, and you're being pulled down there too. So be the best version of yourself that you can be, and recognize that you are beyond your circumstances, situations, or conditions. Focus on the positive. Allow the forgiveness to flow, because the truth is we're all just here trying to figure things out. And more often than not, people aren't malicious on purpose. They're just in lack of awareness and lack of, their ability to recognize that they actually do have far greater control than they ever thought. So, again, sorry I got a little emotional tonight, but it's deep stuff, and some days it goes a little bit deeper. But I'm truly grateful each and every moment. I'm truly grateful to have this opportunity, to know that I have this amazing opportunity to share my voice, that you do too, to let you know that you do too, and that whatever it is that you would love to create for yourself, it's possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Look at what they do. They launched rockets to the moon. They've landed on the moon, and God knows they've gone to the end of our galaxy by now. Nobody knew how to do that. And who was it? I forget his name. He used to work for NASA. When their project was to send someone to the moon, and they said, we can't get past, there's a belt of meteors that surrounds the earth. He said, we can't get past that. And he said, you know what? Don't tell me that we can't, because if you're that kind of person that imagines that we can't, then you don't belong working for NASA. Well, there's nothing that we can't do. If there's a question, there's an answer, because we live in a law of in a universe of polarity. And so if there is one thing, there's definitely the opposite. Let's focus on the positive. Let's focus on finding the answers, not on the problem, but finding the answers. There's always going to be challenges. That's what makes life interesting. It continuously encourages us to grow. When I'm done with this life, I want to go out knowing that I've given it every ounce of myself to growing and to being the best version of myself. And I truly hope that you do too. So thanks for watching. Thanks for staying present. I would love for you to send me a love or a like. Let me know if there's something that you would like to contribute that, what are you overcoming? What is a truth that you know that is greater, that you would like to create? What do you want to create for yourself? Is there someone that that can benefit from these messages? Share this, please, because the more that we share, the more impact that we have. And together we can make a huge difference. So, sending you all love and light. Good night, T. Love you. Good night, Michael. Good night, Patty. Thank you for staying tuned. I look forward to seeing some of you soon. Peace and blessings to you all. It's your light. Let it shine. Good night.